That's ISO.
Rack it up, I gotta build up the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse.
Okay, before we get on with the rest of the video, I wanted to pop in here real quick and talk about the quarterfinals floor plans that came out. There are some interesting ones. So starting out with the first workout, this floor plan pretty much has a lot of things in it. And the rings, I think, is something that people didn't anticipate seeing again in quarterfinals. That could be muscle ups, but it could be something strange like toes to ring or even ring pull-ups. Like, it doesn't have to be ring muscle ups. On to workout number 2. And this is simple, just 2 things in this floor plan and no distances needed. That jump rope, could that be something different than a double under? Could it be a crossover? Could it be a triple under? Could it be those single unders that so many people thought we were gonna see in the open? Maybe it's like, you all showed us in the open, you could do doubles. Now show us you can go back and do singles. Workout number 3, a lot of people are speculating this could be a deadlift box jump combo, which would be interesting and I think could be good because we haven't seen the deadlift yet in this open. Workout number 4, this one is interesting, just 2 elements. Now, there could be an extra element to any of these workouts, like a burpee. You wouldn't need a specific space or equipment to do a burpee. But if it is just these 2 pieces of equipment, there was a workout that came up a couple months ago on CrossFit.com that would fit this perfectly. It was a bunch of rowing and GHD sit-ups. The GHD sit-ups got smaller, the number of them, and the rowing increased. So that could possibly be what this is. CrossFit always wants you to be looking at the .com workouts, and throwing a quarterfinals workout on .com months before quarterfinals would be a really cool way to have people to continue to look at .com throughout the year, knowing it could actually have the exact workout you'll see at a certain stage in the competition. And workout number 5, the one really interesting thing here that I'm surprised to see is we're going to have both a rope climb and a pull-up bar movement in the same workout. That's gonna be a ton of grip. So all these will be interesting. I'll be documenting my quarterfinals experience. Now back to the video about my quarterfinals prep weekend. All right, headed to the gym for the final day of quarterfinals prep. And I'm excited for this one. How is body feeling? A little bit sore, but not crazy sore. Like, I would expect to be a little bit sorer from the GHD sit-ups and all the wall balls and the squatting yesterday. My quads are definitely sore, but not like debilitatingly sore. So feeling pretty good. And the abs are sore, but again, not debilitatingly sore. So that's a win. The first workout today, I think I like it. I believe I did it last year. I know I did it last year and I think it went well, if I remember correctly. So hopefully it's a good time again. We'll see. I wasn't this sore when I did it last year because I believe it was the first workout I did at quarterfinals last year. So I was feeling a little bit better, but I am excited to do this one. You'll see it when I get there. And I am going to join class today, so we'll see how much I can video. And the second workout's a surprise. And I'm hoping I can do it because we're trying to rest a little bit and then we have a surprise final quarterfinals workout. But I have work, so we'll see. And there was only one class to go to. It's only one RX Plus competitors class, so it's not like I could have went earlier and did this. So we'll see, but let's head to the gym. Okay, so we're off. This ends up being my last workout of quarterfinal simulation because I wasn't able to stay for the final workout, but it just popped up on your screen. You can see this is the first quarterfinals workout from last year. So it's a bunch of dumbbell walking lunges, variation of the way you hold them, and handstand push-ups, variation in the way you do them. So we start out with those 50 dumbbell walking lunges. And right now I am lunging out of frame, but I'll be coming back in frame in just a second. I did the beginning of these lunges without putting down the dumbbell for the first like 25 feet. And or 25 steps. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have put them down a little bit sooner. But I was next to someone else who was going real fast. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should continue to hold these. I think it would have been smart each time I had to turn around. So that was every 10 steps to drop the dumbbells real quick. And instead of like turning my body around with the dumbbells in my hands, I would drop the dumbbell, turn my body around, pick the dumbbell back up. think that would have been a smarter route. It's not what I did. But these walking lunges were the hardest part. And obviously they're going very slowly because you're going to see there's parts of this video where I'm not in the frame, only because I got approval from the one other person in this video for her to be in the video, and I didn't have approval from anyone else. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't shooting people who didn't want to be in the video. So just gonna mean that I'm gonna be out of frame for a little bit. Oh, and looks like I took off my shirt while I was out of frame. But just lunging, so I should be getting close-ish to being done. I think I have putting them down here to turn around, which is what I should have done every time. But I think I have one more 10-foot length, so we're 40 foot in. And I keep on saying feet, but it's 40 lunges. It's not by feet this time, it's just 40 lunges, however long that distance is for you. That's how we did it last year in quarterfinals. So once I finish these last 10 lunges, I'm gonna come back and then I'm gonna start my regular 30 handstand push-ups. So it's kipping, it's just in that box. We use the old standard that we used for this actual workout this time, as opposed to doing the new standard that came out this year. So you see those handstand push-ups there. And while I was doing this edit, I realized that with the announced floor plans for this year, it looks like handstand push-ups are going to be in the first workout again. I believe every year of quarterfinals, this will be the third. And if it happens, every year we've got handstand push-ups in the first workout, which is interesting. So there's a line for the handstand push-ups. It's not the box standard we're using here, but I was knocking out pretty big sets here, which I was happy with on these handstand push-ups. But I think, well, I know based on the floor plans, the standard this year is going to be different than the standard I'm using in this workout, which was that box. I believe it was 40 inches by 24 inches. So I think I adapted pretty well to the standard that we use in the open this year. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but I like the handstand push-ups. This was pretty good for me. I broke them up strategically just because you don't want to burn out. Could I do a set of 30? Maybe. Maybe not after those lunges holding the dumbbell, but maybe fresh. I can definitely do a set of 20, but I don't think it's smart to go super, super big sets when you have a workout that's 15 minutes long and you're going into deficit handstand push-ups and then strict handstand push-ups. So finish those up. Now I gotta walk back to my dumbbells, which are on the other side of the room. So I'm gonna start those 40 front rack walking lunges this time. And I've got some people putting my plates out for me, which was nice. The plates had tape on them for the lines. I actually like to move them in a little bit closer than what they're setting up right there. So the tape line doesn't matter as much because it's even closer than that tape line. Here I come with this front rack walking lunge. This is probably usually my least favorite, but I think the fatigue from the previous days impacted the overhead walking lunges, which you'll see in a little bit. But so for this, my legs were hurting. So on the first day of this quarterfinal simulation, I did a workout that had a bunch of wall balls in it, like 120 wall balls in it. And that really killed my quads. So I was definitely feeling my legs in this, and that same workout had 120 GHD sit-ups in it. So my core was also just about gone during these lunges. I didn't feel it or notice it quite as much on the handstand push-ups, a little bit, but really it was the lunges between my legs being sore from the wall balls and my core being sore from the GHD sit-ups. Oh, you see me pop into frame over there, dropping those dumbbells. The lunges were definitely the harder part of this workout for me. It was not the handstand push-ups. I like handstand push-ups. I don't like lunging. And I'll say right now it is about 2 days after I did this workout and my butt still a little bit sore from these lunges. Just gotta hope it recovers for Thursday. Because there might be lunges in the first workout on Thursday too, because there was floor space. So maybe we're figuring out more of the quarterfinals workouts for this year while I'm doing this, while I'm watching this one back. I think I'll put these dumbbells down in a second, but it's off screen so you won't see. I feel like I was just really chipping away at these front rack walking lunges, that's just, it just feels like the weight's just on you. It's not a fan. I am not a fan of the front rack walking lunges. Maybe that means I should be doing more of them though. That's a theory I've always had. If you don't like something, like you don't like a movement, then you might need to do more of it. So just finished up those front rack walking lunges. I am moving those plates in a little bit closer just because I'd like my hands to be a little bit closer than those plates were. Also taking the knee sleeves off because I don't love them while I'm kipping. So this was a 2-inch deficit, I believe, or maybe it was 2.5, something like 2.5. And it doesn't bother me too much. There were some people I saw that had to go down to singles. I don't think I really do any singles. I think I'm doing doubles for most of this because I figure if I'm gonna pop upside down, if I can get 2 reps in, might as well get 2 or even 3 reps in. So these did end up getting a little bit harder though by the end of this. This is a set of 20. By the end of the set of 20, they were a little bit more challenging, but I have decently good handstand push-ups. So I felt like I was moving through these at a pretty good rate. What's going to kill me the most is the next movement, spoiler. But these, I think it's just about getting a really good kip. If you're not used to doing the deficit, it is a little bit harder, but you just gotta really make sure you're using your lower body. And if you can, it was a little bit hard for me this time, engage your core. Those GHD sit-ups had kind of deteriorated my core and I'm still feeling it at this point. Even now, it is Monday and did that GHD sit-up workout on Thursday. I don't really feel my core when I'm sitting still, but if I stretch and extend my core, I can feel still a little bit of soreness. So I was just chipping away here. And when I walk away from the wall for a second, it is done in a methodical way. I'm like, take a couple steps away, shake out your arms. When you walk back, pop up as soon as you can. So instead of just staring at the wall, I give myself a second. It's like, take a step away, but make it a methodical step. Step away, step back up, go back upside down. And that way I don't spend too long waiting, but I feel like I'm still moving. So that was my last handstand push-up, going back to these overhead walking lunges. And I usually don't hate these because I'm decently good overhead, but the accumulation of fatigue from the GHD sit-ups, the wall balls, the rope climbs, so my legs are sore, my core is sore. I did use my arms some on those rope climbs and on the wall balls. I'm feeling it. I think I did like 1 or 2 steps and realized that everyone else had their belts and I probably should have my belt. The first time I did this last year, I didn't use my belt. I didn't need my belt. But my core also hadn't been wrecked from 120 GHD sit-ups like 2 days before. So it's different doing this workout after accumulating a lot of fatigue. So coming back in, you can see I've already put it down and I've only done a couple of steps. This was much harder than I expected. And so this is 30 overhead walking lunges. So the least number, but at this point I've done all the rest of the walking lunges and I couldn't stabilize as well because my core just wasn't there. You can see I almost failed that rep and it's getting out of the lunge because we've talked about it. You all know the legs, not the strongest part of my crossfitting. So we're gonna work on that in the off season, but you can only do what you can with what you've got today. And for me, between my legs being sore, my core being wrecked, these were a bit of a challenge. So we're back up overhead, back into the lunging. Glad I have my belt now. Also, I really should put my knee sleeves up. That would have helped, but I hadn't yet. So here we go, remembering that these help with the lunging, and I had taken them off. Just undoing the belt for a second to catch my breath, popping it back on. This is not the best belt for doing that. I don't love this belt. I bought a new one, but it ended up being too big, so I have to return it. So I'm stuck using my old belt, which is, it has a double lock that's just hard to quickly unlock and relock, if that makes sense. So it's hard to loosen it just a tiny bit without like almost taking it off. It's not ideal. There is, you can see my friend of mine who is working out right now with me. She is very good, did very well in the open, and is doing very well here too, chipping away at those strict handstand push-ups. I had someone else come in to move my plate, so I don't have to worry about that when I got over there. But believe me, it is going to be a little bit of time because I am real struggle bus with these overhead walking lunges. And it was a surprise because it was not nearly as much of a struggle last year. I think I did each of the 10-foot segments, broke them each time to 10 foot, but that was all I had to do. Again, though, this was the first workout in quarterfinals last year. And this is the fourth workout we're doing in a quarterfinal simulation. So body just feels a little bit different at this point. And I do wonder if that's why they tend to put the GHD sit-up workout a little bit farther into the quarterfinals as opposed to putting it as the first workout, which is what we had it in our simulator. I think I'm pretty grateful to see it back as I think it's the fourth workout this year in quarterfinals as opposed to being in the first one because it just, it set me back a bit. I'm not gonna lie. So continuing with this overhead walking lunge, and yeah, I think I have one more step. Just one more step, and I just couldn't get it. My arms were starting to shake, and I needed to, just that one step. And now I am done, and I don't have a lot of time left to do these strict handstand push-ups. So I pop up right away, and I come back down. So the thing was, I totally forgot that these were strict, and I did not go up with the same core engagement and tightness that I need to do a strict handstand push-up. I can get away with being a little bit looser on a kipping one, but not on the strict. And I think I just wasn't even thinking when I popped up the first time and was not ready to even attempt a strict. So now we're just sort of chipping away until the time cap because I just knew at this point I probably wasn't gonna finish. And I just gotta get a couple reps, whatever I can get. And my arms from those overhead walking lunges were fatigued. And because I didn't have a lot of time, I just kept on trying to probably do them quicker than I should have. But I just didn't have the time to rest because there wasn't much time left. Here's another attempt, and we got that one. Come back down. I think I'm gonna attempt one more, try to get it under the time cap. Again, just walking away just to it just eases my mind to feel like I am doing something and not just staring at the wall with no reason. So there we go. Got that last one in under the cap, and that was it, just 3. So less than in the past, but different time and different amount of work before that. Okay, back in my car. I did not get to do the second workout today. That is just because I have work. So right now it is 1:50 and I have work at 3 p.m. So I really need to get home, shower, eat something, take my dog out. So I didn't get to stay for the second workout or even know what that was. So maybe I'll find that out and I'll put that here. If I do find out what the second workout is, I'll try to ask somebody. But it was good. That was a good workout. It was a little bit harder for me than I expected it to be. I did really well on that last year in quarterfinals, but it was the first workout I did in quarterfinals, and I am much more beat up this week from this quarterfinal simulation. So it is what it is, right? Like, some days you can knock it out of the park, and other days you strike out. And today, I didn't necessarily strike out. I was happy that I stuck with it and got as far as I did, but it wasn't as good as it could have been if I had done this as the first workout in our quarterfinal simulation. I did not, and I did it under fatigue, and I'm glad I just was able to get as much as I could. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Next, we have actual quarterfinals coming up, so make sure you subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you there. And hopefully, my core and my legs will be recovered by the next time you see me. All right, bye.